Hello everybody and welcome back to Big Dan's channel. I am, of course, as always, Big Dan, and today I'm going to be reviewing, as the title says, Disclosure Day, which, as of the day of me recording this, today is when the film first came out, of course being 10th of June. So, to start with, going into discussing the film, of course, it's a Spielberg film, as you probably know by now, and as all the trailers showed. And the film, it does manage to feel like a Spielberg one in sense of just general style of it kind of thing. And the overall score around the film as well does help elevate it to that sort of Spielberg kind of style. And as I say, you can definitely tell it's one of his kind of films based off that score and just the general feel around the film. Like it has certain, I don't know if I call him an auteur per se, because I can't really list any of his traits, but it does definitely feel like one of his films, so I can, appreciate the film in that respect. Unfortunately, though, the film, admittedly, it is definitely one of his weaker ones, if I'm going to be completely honest. At least, in my opinion, it's one of the weaker ones. Just some of the problems I had with it was that the CGI, it's pretty weak, if I'm going to be very blunt about it. It just felt like kind of, without being disrespectful to Spielberg himself, just very much kind of like modern day CGI slop, if that makes sense, and just didn't have the greatest look to it. And on top of this, just the pacing of the film itself was okay. And when I say okay, I mean as in like it didn't drag or anything. I've known, obviously far worse paced films, but just didn't really go past the same as, say, Obsession, for example, did when I went to see that. There's not a review for it before you go looking, potentially anyway. But yeah, I don't know, just didn't really do anything justice wise, sort of, when I compare it to Obsession, like with the way that film blitzed by. And I mean that in a good way, of course. It just didn't really get to that level, but again, it didn't drag particularly either. It was just somewhere around the middle kind of thing. But in all honesty, the film's biggest problem probably has to be it's just overall lack of exposition, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I get that, you obviously sometimes want to keep a bit ambiguity, as it were, around a film. But in this case, it just felt too ambiguous, shall we say, and like, how do I say this? It kept too much secret and it didn't do it for any kind of plot twist reason, as in, it just didn't really keep things secret or be like, oh, this is why so and so event, happens later on to reveal why certain things happened. It just like didn't really explain certain things and why certain things happened. And it was just in more of a frustrating way, as I said. So I just really didn't like the lack of exposition here because it just really did bog down the film quite a bit, to be completely honest about it. Though I will say, to help pop it up a bit more, the film, its cinematography was okay as well. I should mention, I was very mixed on it, kind of thing. I don't know, there's just been a lot of cinematography recently in films. I've just been like, it was all right, kind of thing. For all that I heard from other people, that they weren't a big fan of it, and I wasn't massive on it either. I did relatively like the ending of the film. I thought it did definitely hold itself up a bit, and I don't know, it just felt like they did at least somewhat stick to land. Like, I get why they ended it the way that they did, but yeah, and as well, just the whole alien aspect of it, I don't know, it just felt like something was missing, kind of thing. It felt like it should have been honed in on a lot more than it was. And in this case, it just, maybe it's more of a marketing problem, this, than the film itself. But as I say, it's just the pushed it as being like, the alien focus, as you say in all the trailers. But in the end, it just doesn't really focus on that very much, or at least it's in like very small swathes. And I feel like if they decided instead to focus the film more on that, it would have been getting a higher mark from me. Though I will say there was a car chase scene around, I want to say maybe the middle point of the film, that I actually did think was pretty good, in particular in terms of its cinematography and just the cross cutting, so editing wise, that kind of thing. So, the film did definitely still have its redeeming qualities, and it's still a serviceable film. It's not like the worst one I've seen in recent years or anything like that. So, for all of those reasons that I've mentioned, my final verdict for Disclosure Day is a 6 out of 10. From what I've heard, that is lower than what people are giving it on average, at least out of the reviews that have come out today. But I don't know, just not Spielberg's worst. I still think his worst film probably has to be Jurassic Park: The Lost World, if I'm going to be completely honest. Obviously, if you like that film, I'm sorry. But yeah, it just, I don't know, it just felt underwhelming. It was one of those kind of films where, I'm expecting a bit more, and it's like, it's not, it doesn't end up being bad, but it was just kind of like, oh, that's it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just didn't get it kind of thing. But yeah, I hope that all makes sense, guys. And I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. As always, if you liked my video, please press like, subscribe if you want to watch me other content. As I say, anything else that I come out with, because it's not just film reviews I do anymore. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I'm out, as I've been Big Dan. Peace.